Whoa. Okay, let's try that again.
Hello.
Okay, so now that I'm done pretending to write a list that I already finished like an hour ago, so I spend way too much time in this office, sitting in this chair, in front of this computer, listening to the golden oldies. I just got done rendering this one for a project. It's like a 9-hour video, so it's gonna take like 4 hours to export. But I often sit in this chair so long that I forget to eat throughout the day, which is amazing considering how big I am. You'd think that how many times I forget to eat throughout the day, my body would just start eating itself. And the only time I ever realize like that I'm hungry or that I forgot to eat is when there's a lull in my projects, like right now. So I have like 4 hours to kill. I'm gonna go ahead and go grocery shopping because I have no food in my fridge. I think I have like bread, lemon in a container, and a shitload of condiments that have nothing to be condimented on. Is that even a word? Like I said, I made a list like an hour ago. Yeah, let's go. Since Matt took the car to work, I'm gonna walk to the grocery store, which I don't mind. I actually really need the walk anyways. One of the things that I'm noticing that's very different from my time living in the States is that grocery shopping is more of an issue, in that it's really hard to find time to do. Since both Matt and I pretty much have full-time jobs, and when we're not at work, we spend full-time job hours at home working on our home-based businesses. Making time to like go grocery shopping or even just like get the basic necessities, like living necessities done, has been quite difficult. And it also makes it a little difficult because groceries in Japan don't keep as long, even in the fridge, like they do in the States. You'll see what I'm talking about when we go into the grocery store, but a lot of the food have like expiration dates that are a day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe 5 days at max out. So it's hard to keep a lot of the food long term. Like I remember in the States, I would buy bags of fresh vegetables that would last like 3 weeks, because that was the schedule that Matt and I usually like bought groceries. But now we have to go to the grocery store like every like 3 days or so. And unlike the States too, Japanese sizes are a lot smaller. I think there's a few reasons for that. I think one, the expiration dates are a lot shorter. 2, it's space saving, because most Japanese houses don't have a lot of spaces, you know, in their cabinets, fridge, all of that. So the containers are smaller, the food expires faster. And I had like friends' moms that would go grocery shopping every single day. Like they would go grocery shopping that day for that night's dinner, which is kind of messing me up, because even though I've been back in Okinawa for like a year and a half now, my mentality is still shop in bulk. And that just doesn't quite work here like it does in the States. Since moving to Japan, we've definitely noticed that we can't make the same type of food or have the same type of like food lifestyle that we did in the States, because prices are so different here. Like for instance, Matt used to make fresh fruit smoothies in the morning because fruit was so cheap in the States, but here fruit is considered a dessert. It's a luxury, so it's a lot more expensive and we can't have it as often as we'd like. Like these blueberries, for instance, right here, this container of blueberries is $6. This packet of grape is 790 yen. These grapes right here are like 13 bucks almost. Cut mangoes like this is like 904 yen, which is almost like $10. So definitely much pricier fruit. So I don't know how much of this priciness actually comes from like us being in Okinawa and a lot of our stuff having to be imported here from like mainland Japan and other places. But one thing I will say, fresh made daily bento boxes are actually really cheap. So if we ever wanted to like eat out, coming to a grocery store and just getting like a bento box is a really good deal. Okay, so now I made food, and it's good timing too because I was cooking and my hands are like shaking because I haven't eaten. But I made like poke inspired food. I got some edamame, avocados, fresh mangoes, spinach, cucumbers, carrots, cabbage, tofu, and then I made like an umami sauce with mayonnaise, sriracha, a little bit of meating, soy sauce, and then sprinkled sesame seeds on top. I'm so excited for this. Oh, I saw somebody make this on Instagram and I was like, I can make that. That looks so easy and so healthy. I think this is like the first time I've thrown mango into food. So kind of interested to try that. Oh my god, that's so good. Everything is fresh and it just like tastes so good. I'm like really hungry, so give me a second to like get some nutrients in my body. All in all, today I spent 4,302 yen. So I kind of splurged a little bit today. I bought mangoes, I bought a little bit more fresh vegetables, like I bought 2 avocados, so I definitely did splurge a little bit today. I do find that buying groceries in Japan is a lot more than it was buying groceries in the States. You get a lot less and it costs a little more. One of the things that I will say, and the positives about grocery shopping in Japan is, yes, it is a little bit more, but the food and like especially the produce is so much more fresh. Like everything tastes fresh. It's much more satisfying to cut into vegetables here in Japan because you could definitely hear the crunch. It's like crunch, crunch. I should make an ASMR video of just me cutting vegetables. But like I don't really mind the prices of groceries. I think if you come from the States to Japan, especially Okinawa, because like I said, I think it costs a little bit more for stuff here in Okinawa because everything has to get imported from mainland Japan. There is a lot of Japanese healthy products that you can buy for very cheap. Yeah, I think if you're thinking about it from like, okay, this is what I'm used to eating in the States, this is what I would get, either they don't have it here or it's expensive. Let's take Brussels sprouts for instance. I used to get a container or like a bag of Brussels sprouts for like $1 or $2 at Winco. But in Okinawa, they do have Brussels sprouts, but it's like 5 Brussels sprouts in a tiny container for like $3. You know, if you're used to eating a specific way, it definitely can add up to cost. You know, if you're used to buying gallons of milk, well, we don't have gallons of milk. You definitely have to be creative about the kind of food that you buy and really understand seasons. A lot of vegetables that they sell here are based off of seasons. If it's out of season, oftentimes they won't have the vegetable in stock, and if they do, it's a lot more expensive than if you were to buy it in season. Like I mentioned in the grocery store, fruits here are considered dessert. A fresh blueberry mango smoothie in the morning is probably not going to be as cost effective here because, I mean, 1 mango in Okinawa costs like 600 yen. Sometimes you'll see viral videos of like prices of fruit in Japan and people go crazy over how expensive it is. It is like a melon for 20 bucks or something. But it's only because of how Japanese people perceive fruit, and fruit is not like a regular food item. It is definitely more of a dessert special occasion item. So if you're used to eating fruit, that might be a little bit of a downer. I know for Matt it definitely was, because every morning he would drink fruit smoothies and that was his go-to. And there's a lot of things that he used to eat that was like quick meals that were healthy that is a lot more expensive to make here. But the thing that I tell him is you got to do your research. And I think that goes for any country that you move to, is researching like what locals consider health food. For instance, in the States, if I was going to get sashimi grade salmon from a regular grocery store in America, it would cost so much more than it would cost here. So fish is definitely a lot cheaper here. Matt and I budget about $400 a month on groceries. We used to budget the same amount in the States, maybe like $300 for groceries a month in the States. So here we probably spend $100 more and we get what we need. And one of the beautiful things about living in Japan is, like I showed you in the grocery store, bento boxes are really cheap and they're freshly made daily, and you can find an assortment of different types. You can find healthy ones, you can find like delicious deep fried ones. So there's like an assortment of bento boxes that you can get from the grocery store, and they're really, really cheap. Especially both of us working 40 hours a week, we don't have a lot of time to cook, so supplementing some of our at-home meals with bento boxes from the grocery store, we do okay. Like we stay within budget, and we eat fairly healthy. At least for Matt and I, because we're coming from California. I feel like the groceries might cost a little bit more, but for us it kind of balances out. Because in the States we were spending $1,700 for rent for our apartment, but whereas here in Okinawa for a 3-bedroom apartment we're only spending like $560 a month. And I'll be honest, that might not be the case for people who are here due to military. Luckily Matt and I aren't, because I'm a local and I'm a Japanese citizen, so we get like the local Japanese prices. But if you were coming here as like a military and you were attached to the military, rent is going to be more expensive for you. You'll probably be paying California prices for apartments here because they charge the military members more, or they charge the military more for renting apartments and stuff. And there's a whole reason for that. I definitely find that even though like the groceries are a little bit more and I can't get exactly what I used to get in the States and I can't bulk buy and stuff, I definitely am thriving a lot better here in Okinawa. I feel like the food is a lot more fresh and the cost of living for me is a lot cheaper. This ended up turning into an America versus Japan grocery comparison video. That's not what I had in mind. I was just gonna take you guys grocery shopping. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna finish this meal and I'll see you guys next Wednesday.